Meanwhile, in 2020 to 2023, there were concerns raised regarding at least one aspect of the development of 10% of children who received a 13 to 15-month review. Child development is the expansion of a child's cognitive and functioning across time. Childhood is the person's life between learning a language at 1 or 2 years and the start of adolescence at 12 or 13 years. Children gradually go through a variety of changes due to many factors as they develop physically, verbally, intellectually, and cognitively until puberty. Timi Bozi has more on this report.
In 2020 to 2021, there were concerns raised regarding at least one aspect of the development of 10% of children who received a 13 to 15-month review, 15% of children who received a 27 to 30-month assessment, and 13% of children who received a 4 to 5-year evaluation. The percentage of kids who had a developmental problem noted at the 27 to 30-month review increased slightly from 14% in 2019 to 2020 to 15% in 2020 to 2021. At this point, issues are most frequently recognized in the developmental area of speech, language, and communication. Children development is the expansion of a child's cognitive, affective, intellectual, and behavioral capacities and functioning across time. Childhood is the time in a person's life between learning a language at 1 or 2 years old and the start of adolescence at 12 or 13 years old.
Child development is how the child grows, how it develops, physical development, cognitive development, and everything that entails about their growth. When you are talking about development is a series of changes that takes place in an individual as that organism is, in an organism as the organism is growing. So that is all about development.
Children gradually go through a variety of changes due to many factors as they develop physically, verbally, intellectually, and cognitively until puberty. At certain life stages, specific changes take place. These changes, often known as developmental milestones, can help determine whether a child is growing at the appropriate rate. It may be a sign of developmental abnormalities or genetic diseases if these milestones are not met.
Apart from nutritional factor, the type of food the child is consuming has a greater effect on the development of that child. For example, a child that lives in the village, maybe in the morning we have to trek some miles before he or she should get water to take his or her bath. Or maybe a child that wakes up in the morning, those that are in the city, they will wake up, maybe they will have them to take golden morn or custard, freshly prepared one for them, compared to the child that is in the village. Maybe the child is waking up in the morning, go and take eba. You can see the effect. And it will affect the rate at which the child will grow. Stages at which child grows and develops. So for instance, when you have a child, the physical growth, when a child is up to a year and doesn't look like a year-old child, you know something is wrong, even physically. So, and when it comes to the cognitive, the intellectual, when a child should exhibit some changes and the child doesn't exhibit that kind of changes, you should know that automatically something is wrong.
A child's health and development depend greatly on the early years of life. Children of all abilities, even those who require special medical care, can develop normally if their social, emotional, and educational needs are satisfied.
We have environmental factor. When you are in an environment whereby all the necessary things are being provided for you, those that are living in the city, you cannot compare the environments with those that are living in the village, that we have to trek mile before they can get water, that we have to do everything by themselves, comparing to a child that wake up in the morning, go and shower, nobody will stress him or how to go and fetch water. So that's environmental factor. Even during labor at times, when the baby is about to be born, a lot of things can be wrong. Maybe the process of bringing out that child, something ran into her brain, starting from
the birth, it has to be monitored in case of any deficiency when it is not well managed.
In order for children to develop to their greatest potential in terms of health and development, there should be a universal set of criteria by which all children should be treated. Children's rights cannot be fulfilled unless adults who have parental obligation act in a way that makes them a reality. Governments and other adults are therefore required by the Convention to take all necessary steps to ensure that all children's rights are realized. Timi Bozi reporting for KAFTAN TV News.